Gun power, have the natives on stunt time for Keith Rowley and the PNM. It is stunt time. So stunt time means fool black people. It is fool black people time in politics in Trinidad and Tobago. The PNM only has concern for black Trinidad and Tobago one time out of the year, and that is at election time, when black Trinidad and Tobago is expected to do its duty and come forward and vote the PNM back into office, regardless of if it benefits black Trinidad or not. So bullshitologist Keith Rowley, trickster-in-chief, national deceiver, goes to the stunt emancipation village that is supposed to fool black people and say, remember, all of we black, we care about Africa, we care about slavery, emancipation, all of we is one bullshit. And you go there and you put on your kahuni and your shakiki and all the other shit you wear one day out of the year to pretend you're black, all of we black, no problem. Put on your kahini, what it is, crow call it. Look now, man, I so fed up of these Uncle Toms and house Negroes. Keith Rowley is house Negro in chief on this plantation. And black people in Trinidad and Tobago have one place to go, one source to look for what their condition is. So when that mocking pretender climb up on the stage and say black people life ain't easy, he know why. He know why. When you see him sit down in Adams with all big-head Syrian boys, they don't have black people on that table too. He know why. Keith Rowley know why. Keith Rowley know why every version of the PNM had to have a massa, Espine and the Syrian cabal for Rowley, called the Heart and the Syrian cabal for Manning. Eric Williams had Johnny O'Halloran. But I want to ask, and I want to take you up for that. Listen, hear me. You could vote and you could do vote at the end of the day.
Rollins is a crow, and he's going to be just as powerful with Dale of Gillette, one of the tunes that has been turning on people.
That's what they like.
To see black man cry, no blood still running from black people's eye. But I remember when a sunrise, African rise, and I beg black man, please open your eyes. While I was singing and busting me labor string, black man asking me where Atlantic play. Then they put their 14th finger on the shelf. So today, black man, you must blame yourself. But when I sing, they never listen when Coco say, black man's mentality on spectrum and PSA. Big lyrics I sing in, they wouldn't listen to me. Black man telling black man, oh black man, come out to party. I remember when I sing Sham, we don't want it. They said black brothers say Coco, you sing shit. So they say through my fault while you strike your heart. Black man, oh you look for that. I wanna white black man always contact that. Black man, oh you look for that.
That is what passes for leadership for black people in Trinidad and Tobago. All black people get is the PNM. When David Rudder sang, how we vote is not how we party. It is when Hema and Fazir asks me, every time we sit down on a television interview, who's your base? Because the blacks voting for PNM and the Indians have to vote for UNC, so who's your base? So if the blacks belong to the PNM, Keith Rowley is a son of a bitch to go on a stage and say, black people ain't doing well. In a country where the PNM had economic, social, and legislative control for 42 of our 57 years, that son of a bitch, his whole work is to lead black people astray. That, from the plantation days, is called a house Negro. Massa boy work is to keep other black people stupid and advantage, and that is all the PNM has ever done. And when opportunities arose in this country for the people of this nation to rise, black people were kept back deliberately. Somewhere along the way, a decision was made that black people in Trinidad and Tobago were going to be relegated to laborers and consumers. And that could not have happened without the assent and the agreement of the PNM, because the People's National Movement, missing one letter, the B, when Eric Williams called Indian people a recalcitrant minority, when he said, Rowley said to Victoria Gardens, white people and Syrian people can't put me in office, all they've said is Black People's National Movement. No problem, represent your people, but don't be a son of a bitch, a lying trickster and a deceiver, and climb up on a stage in the savannah, spending taxpayers' money to fool black people and tell them black people not doing well. Why you think black people not doing well, Kitos? What works for black people in Trinidad and Tobago? And Fitzgerald Hines, I hope the gods are listening. They say who the gods will destroy, they first send mad. I think Fitzgerald Hines gone mad. Fitzgerald Hines said, tell Lavantel, fix all your mind. Boy, be very careful what you call for. The last time black people get on wrong Balize house, they stone Manning with overripe mango. Careful what all you do. The day black people wake up in this country to what the PNM has done them, it go be trouble, you know. It gonna be trouble. All you who just claim when lackeys make a joke and Ken Gordon and them say they go bring down the corridor. Careful the crab that you think that your own don't bite you in the ass. Careful. Because black people in Trinidad and Tobago right now vex. And I'm watching police locking up little 1%ers, but some small 1% minnows, Steve Sinanan, Charan, a Ketchas, Abood, to make black people think, well, look, they're locking up 1%ers. They mean nothing. Steve Sinanan, two little boys with the two joints. Come now, man, you send 900 police to arrest them. Send 900 police, and tell all you something, eh? Put a proper government in place. When Fitzgerald Hines asked black people in Lavantel, fix their minds, the first thing black people in Lavantel need to do is never vote PNM again. I want to tell all you something. It can't get worse. You're done living in shit. You're living in poverty. You're in a hot spot. They're blowing up your house, guns and fire, and people come in and kill you, whether it's police or bandit. You have nothing. Living in Lavantel, Beta, Mova, East Port of Spain is squalor and pressure. You could take a chance and vote for a rat and get better than what you get from the PNM. They have nothing for black people in the PNM. But other black people wouldn't tell them so, because it has been too easy since Columbus days to choose the few who greedy and tell them, I'll give you, I can't give all of them, but I'll give you, but your job is to tell all the rest of them hush. And that is the PNM work. The PNM's job since Eric Williams was to enslave and to keep enslaved black people in Trinidad and Tobago, to go before the Equal Opportunities Commission and tell them, anytime anybody use the word Negro, bring them up for racism if they're black like the Ace of Spades. We want to talk sedition. Every time we talk, they have a cabal of businessmen in this country running cocaine and dirty money by the hundreds of millions of dollars, sitting down on a war chest of dirty money with some dirty lawyers waiting to charge people for sedition, just to call them out. This is a country. This is a nation where it is easier to be a coke baron and a cocaine money launderer than to call them out for drug dealing and money laundering. But all of that is going to change, because black people have an opportunity now to vote for me. And I tell you the difference between voting for me, because every single thing that I have said for the past 20 years, check my record. I have never seen Rowley for the 20 years that I have been fighting for the homeless, the disabled, and the orphans, all of which 99% are black. I have never seen anybody from the PNM. Not one time. Not once. Not once. All the sufferers, all the poor people, all the bottom of the rung dwellers are black. And I don't see PNM there. I don't see PNM down by Besson Street, down by Riverside Plaza. They have black people in this country that have been dehumanized, you know. In Riverside car park, in the car park, there are black people who are so poor, so destitute that the state gives them a meal or two a day. There are black people worse off than them, if such a thing were possible, who are dying from disease, from drug addiction, who are losing body parts, and they live below that car park, in the river, hoping scraps fall from the destitute above them. I have never seen a single PNM minister, member of parliament, not this jackass stunt artist Rowley, pretend black man. I have never seen them go there, because you are the prime minister and you want to talk about black people not doing well. Let's start from the bottom, brother. Walk your black ass to Riverside Plaza tomorrow if you really give a shit. Take all the Kohini wearers from inside Emancipation Village down with you. Go and rescue those people. Then stunt artist in chief Keith Rowley, double-tongued trickster deceiver, go in the parliament, call the parliament to order and pass as law to release everybody in the jail on a marijuana charge and on a marijuana conviction. Start there. Write section 34 back into law, and I don't care what you call it Rowley mother law. I don't care. Just make sure that you put in schedule 12 that allowed Ish and Steve to get away, put back the white collar statute into it and make it law tomorrow, and free all them black people who languishing in remand yard. You son of a bitch. Black people not doing well? Go remand yard and see where black people not doing well. You want to see black people not doing well, Keith Rowley? Go Magistrates Court on St. Vincent Street and watch black families using the court as a bank for child support. Women have no choice, making children for 9 different men so they could collect $1,800, $200 a man once a month. Go Magistrates Court. You want to say black people not doing well, Keith Rowley? Explain to the nation how there are people in this country that owns 400 and 500 properties, and black people can't own a property yet. That if they squat, you're going to mash them down. That you want them to attach themselves to you, misbehave in public office, use state funds to build public housing, and then tell them vote PNM to get it. That is a jailable offense. And I promise you, you son of a bitch, you talk about it, you will hear a rusty lock turn behind you. Trinidad and Tobago needs a proper government in this country. What just went on, Natuk and Matt calling for an examination of the case that went on with Nazim Bash. And it needs to start there. And this is just the assault on the media. This ain't even heavy oil. This ain't even heavy oil. This is a man that escaped on technicalities, Cleaver Heights, landed. This is a stunting son of a bitch who's the school child from Tobago, who Faris run and make a video for. And I will put both my stones on the line and tell you, that woman got no mother. She must be get payoff. Because the whole of Tobago knew that her school teacher interfered with her when she was underage. And that's how Keith Rowley's first child was born. Trinidad and Tobago. And if you want to add insult to injury, that stunting son of a bitch let 2 black children grow up in this country lying. Keeping to the stereotype, black men don't mind their children. Lying. They may have no father. They may have no father. Nobody will make them. The mother's a whore. That's what they had to say. The mother's a whore. She throwing up she leg for everybody. Because every time Keith Rowley signed a document that said, I believe the above, I know the above to be true, he lied. That was a criminal offense. But this is Trinidad and Tobago, where you have people in every public office corrupt and political. So you can't go and make reports and hope it gets somewhere. Thing languishing in this nation 100 years. There are people in jail 50 and 60 years because they run afoul of the wrong people. You want that to be your country where the jackass prime minister could go and chain up black people and tell them black people ain't doing well? Tell me which bank exists in Trinidad and Tobago for poor black women from Laventille, Morvan, Beetham and Sealots who want to come and do a business, who want to become an entrepreneur. His name is Garth Noel. That was his name. I remember. Where do black people go Where do black people go? When Syrian and white and money Chinese and red people children go in St. Andrews and Dunross to slipstream them into the prestige schools, where do black people children go? Like talk now, Rowley. You say black people ain't doing well. You ever walk your constituency? You ever walk your constituency? We have you on video saying, I went to my constituency in Glencoe and Westmoreland and Bayshore. Do you know that your constituency is also Bagatelle and Rich Plain and Covine and Mason and Factory Road and La Puerta and Saganga and Abbey Pujad and Big Yard and St. Peter's and Point Cumana? You know that also is your constituency, brother? You ever went there? You ever went and checked the conditions of the black people? Keith Rowley living in Factory Road, eking out an existence. You talk about black people and doing well. You stunting son of a bitch. You've sat in the parliament for 33 years. At no point in time did you stop to wonder how black people doing. When you're hearing, I'm not in parliament and I know. Everything I'm telling you, I know you know. You are a double-tongued deceiver, Uncle Tom, a house Negro. The PNM is the worst thing that ever happened to black people in Trinidad and Tobago. And the day black people wake up to the reality of what has been done to them, be very careful. Be very careful. Kendall Ramuta, we like it so, is a statement that gets people blocked on this wall. Don't ever type it there again. Go and find a wall that like it so. Hey, we want change. And in Trinidad and Tobago, if they couldn't vote for the Indian Party, they could vote for the PEP. And they should take a chance. I remember telling Nylon Hippolyte, when Nylon Hippolyte was the member of parliament for Laventille West, I told him on the radio, I said, if you want to represent your people, tell them marginalize all yourselves. Make Laventille West a marginal constituency so that PNM and UNC and everybody who want to get your vote will come in there and make sure that you have jobs and homes and infrastructure and water, hope and opportunity. Do that. Marginalize yourself. Make your constituency a marginal constituency. Nylon tell me, Phillip, I have a plan. Nylon got 22 of 27 party groups in Laventille West endorse him, and Keith Rowley tossed his ass aside and put Fitzgerald Hines, who failed in Laventille East, to come and Laventille West. Yeah? Kendall Ramuta, don't study what everybody else doing. You stand to frig up. Dip your hand in your pocket. Send some money. Show up in a meeting. Stand up on a corner and give out flyers. Don't just come on my wall and talk shit. You always piss me off for that. Come and get on board and help. Let we talk from this side. When you're tired, like we do this weekend here, when we open that office in Shagwanas, the members was banned. People couldn't talk for 24 hours. Fast we work. Come and feel that, and then you could talk big. But the truth of the matter is, Trinidad and Tobago, the truth of the matter is that the PNM is the cancer that has ruined this country. And you can't escape that. And black people, as Weston Rollins, Crow say, black man, all you look for that. Every time you vote for a PNM, you're looking for somebody to come in your house and beat up your family, advantage you, take everything you own, make you a slave, or you're working for underpaid slave wages. They give all you a minimum wage and then let the inflation run. They don't peg minimum wage to cost of living, so you get nothing. But you think you're getting, but the same money that you have, you're playing remember when. Remember when this same salary could have buy KFC for everybody? You don't understand that what they're doing is they're making an ass of you. So they give you a minimum wage, but it is not pegged to inflation. So all they need to do is allow the prices to run back to where they were, and you're right back to where you start off. You can't own a home. You can't buy a car. They have a job song. Me have no job, me have no house, me have no car. Black people singing that, waving their hand. When Buju Banton came down here and sang, there's a song Buju Banton sang. I said, if black people in this country really paid attention to what Buju was singing, they mash up the savannah. Because it would dawn on them. It would dawn on them that what is going on. Shirley Benjamin says she used to live in the ghetto. Girl, if you escape I'm proud of you and I'm happy for you. But what about the 500,000 that you leave behind? What happening to them? Fitzgerald Hines blame them. Keith Rowley say all they ain't doing well. And both of those stunting sons of a bitches, black for spite, black to fool you, come to lie to you, what they want, what they need to say, and they go say it on the deathbed, you know. They go say it on the deathbed when death watch them in their face. We use we life to advantage people. While they're working downtown selling cloth by the mile. Working for $1.50 an hour. Trinidad and Tobago. Look at yourself. Look at all of it. Look at it. You could burn, riot the man. They have thing for all you. You think they're not waiting? Colm was provoking you, that dirty little gargoyle. He was provoking all of them a riot yet. He point that in all your head for Kia Rankin and Ragu to come and chain all you up. Let's see what the UNC doing. The UNC forming a different organization every week because nobody wants to hear anything that the UNC have to say. So Rankin and Ragu start and bus. Stakeholders United movement, well, because of Rankin and that bus, they come with the cybercrime, no, the crypto, what it is just called, the lie detector thing. They come with that with Brian Stone and Gart Christopher, that bus. Now this Friday they form a next organization, United. Some bullshit. Funding, UNC funding, a wannabe politician named Sachin Maharaj who looking for his day in the sun. And he, Sachin Maharaj and United on Friday, going to end up just like how Gart Christopher and Brian Stone end up last week and how Rankin and Ragu end up the week before. Boss. Because nobody want to hear anything that the UNC have to say. Polygraph committee. Nobody want to hear anything that Kamala Persad-Bissessar have to say. Because they were deceived. And they're right to be upset with her. What I don't understand is they don't have the same standard for blackface. So you're vexed with Kamala, but you're giving Rowley a pass. How does that work? It's still you losing. You still lose. You lose under UNC. You lose under PNM. How you get to pick a side? I will forever be asking my friend Clarence Rambarat, when you said that the election in 2015 was going to be a competition to see who less worse, and then you pick PNM. Every time you vote, you have an opportunity to vote yourself a justice system where a murder case can't be more than 5 years. And the judges who can't bring cases in under 5 years are removed from the bench. Yeah, that's what your vote gives you. You see, the parliament is the most important building in the country. The parliament could outlaw the court and start it over. The parliament could outlaw the police service and start it over. The parliament has the authority. It is the tool of we the people. The parliament is the mechanism by which we do everything that we do. And the country fails because the parliament fails. We have had governments come and governments go. We've buried prime ministers who went in the parliament and talked about rogue police officers, but not one of them will set up an internal affairs unit to clean up the police service because them still benefiting from them same rogue officers. We've had prime ministers, we bury prime ministers, we vote prime ministers out who went in the parliament and talk a crocus bag of ass about the drug trade, but wouldn't secure the borders because the drug money that they get in their coffers will run out. And they ain't gonna be able to put goats on stage to play Manning wonders, but Billy Pedro Manning was in bed with the drug lords. The drug lords is who was controlling Manning. And when he tried to wiggle free, they fire him. Set up some PNM radicals to go and meet in Barbados to say they're going and vote into a vote of no confidence together with Kamala to move Manning because those with the authority to send them Barbados say so. And to this day, Camille Robinson Regis can't answer for the $143,000 in a brown bag that anybody else held with that would have serious questions to answer by the FIU. Which is why I asked yesterday, when Sabga received money from Dole for the Range Rover, when Dole took a picture dripping in gold with the pretty little sales clerk, did the FIU ask for a source of funds? Dole, where you get it? When you vote, and this is for everybody, when you vote, you could vote change. You could say by my vote. It's why I buffed Kendall Ramuta just now. Because you're supposed to say, to hell with everybody else. I standing up. This is what I do. I know we like it so. I know we full of shit. I know we jamming still. I know we down on the avenue looking to get drunk and wine and a bouncy. I understand that. And still, I fight. And still, I try. Tonight, this, here. They have good shows on TV. I could be out lying with my friends looking to wine on a bouncy. But I hear. And if 1.4 million of us forgot what the hell everybody else is thinking and doing and focused on ourselves and making sure that we stand up and that we vote, and if we could help send some money for the party, and if we could come and get involved and build the party. You see, for all the shit they want to talk, for all the giggle him I want to giggle, and all the bullshit they want to talk on TV6, not one of them will talk about Synergy TV. Two Chinese boys built Synergy TV and for 10 years told black women that they were hoes and told black boys that they were thugs. And that is your life. And Keith Rowley, you're lying with them same people. So when you go and talk about black people ain't doing well, you are a hypocrite because you are an enabler. The Bible says the upholder is worse than the thief. And it is people like you, Keith Rowley, have black people not doing well. You are in the parliament. You are prime minister. By the stroke of a pen, you can fix things. When you're thieving pep ideas, you're listening to the ideas, you're taking the ones convenient to you. Take this one. Fix education. Fix home ownership. Put the lands to use growing food so we could drop the price, the cost of living. Get the family and the community back as the center of life in this country so that we could do away with the $9 billion to send police out to play shoot them up Charlie with people like Sandman, Bulls and Dole. It is time for a better country. But we're not going to get a better country when we're listening to stunt artists and con artists like this treasonous son of a bitch, Keith Rowley, who should be in jail for Emailgate. In a real country, he would. In a real country, Keith Rowley would have stepped down the day Gary Griffith said Emailgate is bullshit, because that was the last investigation. When the DPP woman, Honoré whatever, jump out herself to say the Emailgate police still investigating. Now it closed. She say anything? But that was the last, because Google said this is bullshit. And it was Google emails, and they said it was bullshit. And I'm not getting into the content issue yet, because I also want to say, all the fakery in the bakery they're giving you about Cambridge Analytica. Ask PNM who the little big-head Syrian boy hired for 2015 that put the scarf around Rowley neck, that had to find ways to take pictures of him smiling. Ask Big Head about their fakery in the bakery. So it's not only Kamala in Cambridge Analytica. Don't take chain up. PNM and UNC is two sides of the same corrupt, this devious, deceitful, nasty coins. Trinidad and Tobago, the better country that we want, the better Trinidad and Tobago that we want to be. Every time you talk, every time you listen to Kamal Ethan Georges waste another day of his life, or Akash Samaru pretend to be relevant, every single time you listen to one of these people give you news and you don't question what you just heard, you've allowed your country to slip a little further down the abyss. Make no mistake, when Kamal Ethan George's one car gets stolen 3 times, there were questions to be asked, but nobody to ask them, because media don't question media. Media wouldn't ask how Suniti Maraj worked for TV6 and CNC3 in the 2015 elections. Media don't question media. So I give up on them long time. The truth of the matter is, where we go from here, what happens next to Trinidad and Tobago happens at the tip of 1.4 million fingers. And if you choose not to vote, make sure you have your escape plan. And those stallers, start to take the money out now like the politicians. You see, the Kabbalists, the contract mafia, and the politicians taking out their money by the hundreds of thousands because they believe a day is going to come when the whole shit is going to collapse. And when the shit collapses, the money that you have in the bank, RBC, Scotia, FCB, and Republic, will then tell you, well, the value of the money failed. And we reach, your dollar was worth $6 this morning, is worth 6 cents now. And we're going to get there. We're going to get there. Just follow the money. Follow where the money going. Follow where the money going. Follow what's happening to the money out of the treasury. Follow what happens every time Colm Imbert or Brian Quaitam or Wendell Motley or any of these stunt artists, Larry Hawaii, who get his 10 million in front. Study what they say. Study what they said last year. Colm Imbert, Faris Al-Rawi admitted that the nation could save $100 million a year if they built the courthouse outside the jail and cancel the wasteful amalgamated security justice on time contract that Abood living large on. And yet, the $10 million to build those courts has not been budgeted, but they find the $100 million every year. So you decide. You decide. We either fix it or we say it. Yeah? You decide. Because, make no mistake, those plundering the treasury, they're motivated. All you have to do is nothing. They'll take care of business for you. All that is required for evil to prosper is that good people do nothing. To the black people beating drums in the Emancipation Committee village tonight, stop. Stop. They're using you to stunt. They're making a mockery of you. They're dressing you up and laughing at you when they reach Goodwood Park to drizzle olive oil on whatever they're eating tonight. They don't care that you think that you're attached somehow to slavery, that you're so foolish as to believe something that took place that long ago could still be affecting you today. And the jackasses in government who have had financial control of the third wealthiest nation in the Western world, they not. Slavery have you suffering, not PNM. And that PNM education, hurting people, hurting you. It has divided this nation into a class and race madness that people don't know what is the next step. There was a guy named Phillip Franco. Now, giving these people a little mileage, or they'll go and find him. He's talking no party government, 41 independents. And for a little while, a couple PEP members left and went that way. But then I keep asking them, if all 41 independents win, what happens then? How do you get a government? How do you get a budget? How do you get a legislative agenda? How do you know what the country does next if you vote 41 strangers into office and you don't know what their plans are? You could end up with a cabinet of people who are diametrically opposed to each other, and everything that is taking place in that house will collapse in a heap of confusion. You need a clear vision for the ship of state. And this is what people like Franco, who cannot build a party. He does not have the ability to actually get people together and get them to consensus like we do. The Progressive Empowerment Party, with fishes and loaves, have opened 5 offices. We've even opened an office in New York City. where our chairman is going to visit in the next couple of weeks. This Saturday gone here, we opened an office on 6A Asaraf Road West, Charleville, right off the highway, literally off the highway. To complement our office in Tumpuna Road, Arima, in 10th Avenue, Barataria, in Stanmore Avenue. We opened an office in St. Madeleine and it didn't work out. That failed. We need another office. And if anybody in South, in San Fernando, now I have been made offers of properties to use for the PEP South office, but most of them are in residential communities. And we don't want to distress people, residents in their homes, having political meetings. We're looking for somewhere more on a main road, in a commercial district preferably. If you have a property that you're not using and you could make available to the Progressive Empowerment Party, a couple 100 square feet, somewhere with something like a car park that we can have a public meeting, message me. That's all it takes. Just message me and thank you in advance. We're looking for something in South so we could reopen our South office. We're going to Tobago. We are going to Tobago. Tobago, we come in and we come in with one message: abolish the THA. The THA is Uncle Tom. The THA is Massa Plantation House Negroes enslaving y'all. The THA has kept Tobago in the dark ages and destroyed it. The Tobago House of Assembly is nothing. It is vapor. It does nothing for nobody. It channels central government money from the treasury and it enslaves you to a handout, creating the dependency syndrome that has black people not doing well. Trinidad and Tobago, we need to fix ourselves. I, Phillip Edward Alexander, I am not a career politician and I don't want to do this much longer. My mission here is to kick down the door and open it for you. That's my job. All you come and stand up and get ready, you know. Get ready to come and take responsibility for your country. My job is to break the hands of those in the cookie jar. My job is to break the necks of those who have plundered this nation. My job is to break the back of the corruption that has ruined sweet, sweet Trinidad and Tobago. That's my job. I have the belly, backbone, and balls for that. But after that is done, we need people to run the country, to operate it properly to the benefit of all. Come and get on board. We need you for that. I, Phillip Edward Alexander, 5 years, that's all I'm prepared to get. I don't even want to be in government, to be honest. And I know that it's a very important part of my life that I'm going to be squandering at this. But I want to do it for all the people that I care about and all the people that I love. I want to make sure that when I shuffle off this mortal coil, the people I leave behind, they have a chance at a good life. Right now, people running from Trinidad and Tobago. They don't know how to sell their property. They don't know, some of them want to give it away. Just take it now, give me some money. You could pay me in US, the US done outside, and take it now. People running from Trinidad and Tobago, hear me? Pump all your brakes. I know it's scary, it's frightening. We have a Gary Griffith, let me work with Gary. We have a Progressive Empowerment Party. Let's build it, let's get there, let's fix it, secure the borders, and shut down the crime in Trinidad and Tobago. Create hope and opportunity for those who were tempted to go down the wrong path. Like a rising tide, lift all boats. We are going to have to work very, very hard to make our country into the blessed nation God intended it to be. There is no other country in the world as blessed as Trinidad and Tobago. You think it is by accident we are the only tropical country in the world outside the hurricane belt? We are the only Caribbean territory outside the hurricane belt. Do you think that's by accident? Do you think all the bounty of blessings that this island has, of pitch lake, the oil and gas, the fertility, I mean, we could grow anything. Do you know that we ended up with the best cocoa in the world by accident because our cocoa that we used to grow, that was pretty good cocoa, got infected with disease and had to kill all and burn all down, and then we brought in some cocoa from Venezuela to start back a crop, and that grafted itself to what was our original cocoa and created a new strain almost biblically, Trinitario cocoa, and that is now the best in the world. That's the world standard. You think we knew what happened there, or we designed that? Trinidad and Tobago is so blessed. It is so bountiful. Our cup runneth over. Tobago is easily the most beautiful tropical tourist destination on planet Earth. We just don't know how to treat with it. We don't know how to deal with the largest brain coral in the world. If America had that in Florida, you're seeing it on Discovery Channel every night. If England had a nylon pool, you're seeing it on their TV every night. We don't know how to treat with the bounty that is Tobago. It's like the pitch lake. The Chinese people come here and say, oh, you don't know what all you have here? We're going to take it. We're going to take that. Where you want? Where you want, house Negro? Some shiny shillings? Look some in your face. Go and dress up and play Papa Doc for them. And they did that with Kamala, Keith, Pandey and Manning. Golfing jackasses who trying to be white. That's what they're trying to be. You listen to Fitzgerald Hines talk. You know, Fitzy want to sound like Massa. Fitzy don't want to talk like a Trini, and I want to talk more and more Trini every single day, despite my caramel latte complexion. We, all of us in Trinidad and Tobago, we deserve a government led on a clear path. We need a vision for a better tomorrow. We have 21 policies in our party that we released out of our manifesto when we launched. And people thought that was the sum total of everything that the party does. And every single speech I have been giving since have been other items that not even on that. I talk about sport this week and rock the conversation. People say, but wait, now this man right. How come we don't even pay attention to sport? The best parallel to academics for children who have no interest in maths and English and French and Spanish. But they could run, jump, and look at where we've touched the sky. We've touched the sky in golf, in boxing, in javelin, in football, in cricket, in athletics, in track and field. This country has touched the sky. We have brilliant people in martial arts. This fella Hines is one of the best MMA fighters in the world. He's a Trini, running his own little gym in St. James. Look at Brian Ibrahim. Brian Ibrahim brought gym culture to this country 30 years ago. How come they're not helping Brian? Brian has 6 gyms. We should have a gym on every corner so that young people could have something to do other than go and drink and smoke and get themselves in trouble. But Keith Rowley is a jackass. He is brain dead. He is nothing. He's worse than a silent fart. He brings nothing to the table. Nothing. He has no vision as to how to elevate the condition of the black man. So he goes to the black man and say, boy, all you have it bad. But he don't have it bad. He living nice. He living in white community. Newberry Hill, Glencoe. When you, that's not white, that's white. But he want to talk about why when you make it big, you don't go and build your house. I always ask, Brian Lara, why did you want to become the Prince of Port of Spain when Lacano, Santa Cruz, where you're from, could have benefit from your presence? Somebody asked me, why you don't want Brian Charles Lara as one of your sports figures? I said, because he don't care about nobody but himself. And I have no interest in people like that. I look to people who have looked back, who say, you know what, I've made it, I'm comfortable, let me help others. That's the philosophy of the Progressive Empowerment Party. Let's help as many as we could. And that's the mission. So when Keith Rowley go and say black people ain't doing well, he right. But he forget to say he and the PNM responsible for that. And that they have no plan, no idea, no clue, no vision, no policy, no program, nothing. Everything that they've come up with was a different way to enslave black people to handouts. And that need to come to the end of its rope. This is a Calypsonian Adelon brave boy, Bangela, who was robbed. Trinidad and Tobago Calypso Association. You all put a gun in this man's face and rob him. That money, that prize money was his. This is the greatest Calypso I have ever heard. Listen to the timeliness of this song.
Every day I sit and wonder how this sweet island gets so good. Tell me who to save each day on that take us. Did you play? Well, it and golden is the new band launching. New sizes of boxes we measuring. Nearly on a portal, you're hearing our morning. Live for a movie, it's in Vegas now showing. Sweetie and tea, land of the milk and honey. Sweet family, the way that it used to be, Lord. Like a long ago, what was mine was yours too. Peace and harmony, my red, white, and black country. Oh, I'm pleading with you. I'm pleading with you, Lord. Bring back the nation. Like it's blood and crime take over. The rich are not feeling the pressure. People die like flies, yet we fight. What would it take for us to unite? Look how we children them going astray. And the poor hold on to faith each day. So all who hear the message and playing dumb, many go pay in time to come. So all the innocent lives they taking, the mind and the souls they corrupting. Everything has a price to pay on a great, great judgment day. Sweetie and tea, land of the milk and honey. Sweet family, the way that it used to be. Like long ago, what was mine was yours. Peace and harmony, my red, white, and black country. Take on and lift up this island. I place my situation in your hand. You can create and you can destroy. Please turn our sorrows into joy. Forgive us, Father, we have sinned. Turn back the sword, oh Lord, and lead it. Change the hearts of the wicked ones. Guide and protect all your daughters and sons. Through this perilous times, oh no, with you on board, blessings will flow. TNT will again arise to the sweet, sweet border. Bring it sweet TNT, land of the milk and honey. Sweet family, the way that it used to be, Lord. Like long ago, what was mine was yours too. Peace and harmony, my red, white, and black country. Bring it back, I say. Bring it back, I say. When it take a village to raise a child, and all we do is smile. Bring the country back, I say. When we eat from the same pot, we drink from the same cup. My red, white, and black country. When we look out for each other, we were all brothers keeper. My red, white, and black country. Sweet family. My red, white, and black country.
In 6 minutes and 57 seconds, Adelon Brave Boy did more for the nation of Trinidad and Tobago than Keith Rowley has done in 33 years in the Parliament. 6 minutes and 57 seconds of truth robbed by the Trinidad Unified Calypso Organization, TUCO. That is a PNM party group that don't want to hear that kind of melody, them kind of lyrics. The authority of that song commands you to listen. Adelon Brave Boy, Bangela, bring it back. The greatest calypso ever written. And let me tell you something. I am a fan of Prophet David Rudder. But this had every 6 minutes and 57 seconds of everything you ever needed at this point in time as a nation for us to talk about. To my black brothers and sisters tonight, to you I speak. I am not black. I have some Creole in me from, that's how they just call it, from my mother, father side of the family. And I am as mixed as one could be. But black Trinbagonians will tell you, I'm not black enough to say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. When Fitzgerald Hines said, fix your mind, I say, listen to Bob Marley and emancipate it. Emancipate your mind from the mental slavery inflicted upon it by the PNM. 57 years, one party has led you, and your conditions have deteriorated while trillions of dollars have passed through this country. Black Trinidad and Tobago, the conditions of the Indians, the Syrians, the Chinese, the whites, all went up and up and up. And yours went down and down and down. You own nothing. You don't own a single industry. The Chinese control the media. The Syrians control the media. The Syrians now own the whole construction sector. A Syrian man went into the ice business and owned the whole ice industry in a year. Black people don't own nothing. I remember reading an article about Carnival, and they were talking about how impossible that the black people who invented Carnival relegated to holding the ropes and sweeping out the piss truck. It is the PNM that has done you that. It is the People's National Movement, tools of the contract mafia, house Negroes and Uncle Toms set up to lead you astray and take advantage of you. Those handouts that you get is a joke. It is the cost of doing business while others are making hundreds of millions of dollars and racing up Goodwood Park Hill. Come on. Black Trinidad and Tobago, I am appealing to your reason. I am appealing to your common sense. Black Trinidad and Tobago, when Keith Rowley say all your head doing well, he wasn't commiserating. He was trying to avoid responsibility for 33 years of mismanagement and incompetence by the People's National Movement. 57 years going, they say they are the black party in Trinidad and Tobago, and black people not doing well. Who to blame? Who to blame? Hines want to blame all you. Fix all your mind. Fix all your minds. That if you were to get yourself smart, you would not vote PNM. If you were to vote selfishly and make sure that your labor, your consumption, and your vote mattered, you would make sure that you shopped and you employed people that you wanted to help. That you don't go and fool yourself thinking lining up in Starbucks and KFC could make you white or make you acceptable. Forget that nonsense. Elevate yourself as a community. Stand together now. Stand for a better. Look at what the East Indian community did. The East Indian community stood up together, gave each other support, and look at where they reached. Look at the Syrian community. The Syrian community supports the Syrian community like no other. The original Chinese community in Trinidad and Tobago was so tight that nobody could have fallen and somebody the one grab them and help them up. Look at how white people live. On a Sunday, they all go down the islands to escape the rest of us. They opened nightclubs and gave us names like High Brown to describe the Indians and the Negroes they would tolerate. That is also our Trinidad and Tobago. Not all. Not all of anybody. Not anything is stereotypically all. But for some reason, Black Trinidad and Tobago has been continuously relegated to the dustbin of this nation, while all other races prosper. And the only thing that affects only Black Trinidad and Tobago is the PNM. So check yourself. You are wrecking yourself, supporting the madness that is the PNM. The People's National Movement, you are not the people they talk about. When Keith Rowley said, black people not doing well, his tongue should have fallen out his mouth. Right there. God in heaven should have strike him down. Right there. A bolt of lightning should have come straight down from the sky and fry that son of a bitch right there for having the indecency to blame the victims of PNM madness. Trinidad not doing well, but as a government in office 4.5 years did nothing to stop the drug trade, did nothing to end the madness that has destroyed black communities. When they show you on television police in your community, see this morning the Guardian and the Express, sons of a prominent lawyer got held for weed. If they were black from the ghetto, their faces would have been plastered. I shared something by a guy named Sanjay Badri Maharaj, and it upset me because I have been calling for a securing of the nation's borders, a proper functional use of the Coast Guard that would end the drug trade that is fueling the violence that has killed 10,000 little black men in this country. This is what Sanjay Badri Maharaj wrote. In light of the attack and murder of Trinidadian fishermen and the unconscionable failure of the Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard to respond adequately to the task, I would like to point out the following. 1. With 102 offers and 1,356 ratings, the Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard is larger than it has ever been and is by far the largest naval unit in the English-speaking Caribbean. 2. The Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard has more serviceable vessels than at any time in its history. 1 79-meter offshore patrol vessel, 4 Damen SPA 5009 coastal patrol vessels, 2 armed FCS 5009 utility vessels, 2 armed 46-meter interim patrol vessels, 6 DI 1102 interceptors, 17 other interceptors, of which 6 are operational and 6 pirogues. These vessels have ample range, endurance, and, in the case of the SPA 5009s, an excellent sensor suite. He put in brackets, I know, since I was one of those who selected the suite. The vessels have ample range, endurance, and in the case of the SPA 5009s, an excellent sensor suite. I know, since I was one of those who selected the suite. 4. The failure is not due to a lack of resources, but due to an abject and criminally obscene failure to establish an effective patrol cycle. 5. This failure has been attributed to a lack of fiscal releases, fuel being a particular problem. 6. Even so, there is no excuse for the ineffective response. 7. Worse, the response of the Trinidad and Tobago Air Guard, National Helicopter Services, and the National Operations Center Air Division seems to have been woefully inadequate in this incident. Air support was crucial. On paper, we have air assets. Clearly, in practice, we don't. We spend $9 billion. $9 billion on national security alone. $9 billion. That is $9,000 million. We are spending $9,000 million. And we can't put diesel in a boat to patrol this country's borders. With that list of Coast Guard vessels, stunt artist Rowley just sent Chinley and Stuart Young to buy more so financiers and the PNM could get kickbacks from companies that PNM financiers represent. We have all of this, and they did nothing to rescue these fishermen. We have all of this, and drugs and guns come into this country. We have all of this, and 50,000 illegal firearms are in circulation in Trinidad and Tobago. We have all of this, and 50,000 Venezuelans were allowed to land illegally in Trinidad and Tobago. We have all of this, and you could sail with a nuclear bomb up any river, onto any beach in Trinidad and Tobago and do what the hell you like, because all of this is tied up in Hartskut in Chagaramas.
If it is that who you're voting, baby, or not out. When you're voting, vote them out. Vote them out. If it is the proven to be your full amount. When you're voting, vote them out. Vote them out. If it is the time is now that
Change must come about, just as how you vote them in.
vote them out. Register and vote them out. If they don't see, vote them out.
Say your finger and
Vote them out.
show them no mercy.
Vote them out. Put them up in total skull and utter disdain. Let's put our country together again. Put them out of power.
Terminate the reign.
Let's put our country together again. If for 30 years
You voting them in, and it's only tears as soon as they win. They give you big words and enslave your soul, promising you roads and giving potholes. And when you vote, the next time you vote, I don't want you to think you're voting URP, HDC, OJT. I want you to think that you're voting for your mother and your father's future, for your children's future, for your brothers and your sisters to make it home safe at night. When you vote next, Black Trinidad and Tobago, vote yourself a social intervention into your communities that brings hope and opportunity and gives everybody in this nation a real chance to maximize their potential. Progressive Empowerment Party has one plan: to be the rising tide that raises all boats. Our plan is to unite all of the people of Trinidad and Tobago under one flag. But Black Trinidad and Tobago, we cannot do it without you. We cannot break the hands of the contract mafia if you vote the PNM into office that facilitates the contract mafia. We cannot break the necks of those who have plundered and looted this nation if you vote the puppet PNM back into office that allow them free sheet and free run. We cannot break the backs of corruption and white-collar crime in Trinidad and Tobago if you vote the last bastion of corruption and criminality in this nation back into office. The country, the nation that you want, the vote that you're about to vote, see your future. See yourself in your 50s, your 60s, and your 70s, where pharmaceuticals and drugs are critical, and your pension or your salary can't afford. See your safety. See you lying down in your bed like that 65-year-old grandmother in Maruga. They come in her house and kill her in the sunset of your life. You must be facing murder. When you vote, vote for a properly operated, set up country with a clear idea of where it wants to go, and that all of the people are the ways and means by which it achieves its full potential. When next you vote, vote for yourself. Vote for those you love. Vote for a better future for you and them, and then for your country.
If they are the reason why the economy goes round, when you're voting, vote them out. Vote them out. If it is the passing laws that them alone can flout, when you're voting, vote them out. Vote them out. If it is the building ISIS, east, west, north and south, they say where you vote them in, vote them out. Register and vote them out. Totally, state no finger and rescue the country. Vote them out with tempo, they happy in vain. Let's put our country together again. Vote them out with calypso and joyous refrain. Let's put our country together again. If their policy is a fallacy, bureaucracy,
A catastrophe,
if they cannot vote,
and you see it so, then your only hope is for them to move. And remember that. Remember the nation that you're trying to build. Remember what you want. Remember how it is supposed to work. Remember that you could have, by right, a justice system that functions, a law enforcement system that functions, public health that functions. The Progressive Empowerment Party says, by law, members of the government responsible for public health in the country, especially members of the parliament and the cabinet, will by law be mandated to use public health, them and their loved ones, so that it would guarantee that they have a vested interest in making sure public health functions to the highest standards in the world. We insist that the culture of blue lights comes to an end, so that traffic could be solved by those who have the power to solve it. We will remove all of the tax breaks from all members of parliament will bring the salaries back in line with a sensible salary. This is not a money-making scheme. If you come into government, come to serve or don't come at all. To those who are going to tell me, Philip, we're supposed to attract the best and brightest, all this money that we've wasted on all of these charlatans and shittongs has not attracted the brightest and the best. So let's look to attract the compassionate and the good and those who are patriotic and willing to serve their country. Let us remove all of those luxuries so that they feel the cost of living the same way the average person feels it, so they work doubly hard to make sure that the cost of living is in line with real wages. It is time you had a government fully in touch with the people. The Progressive Empowerment Party says it should be law that your member of parliament come from your constituency. Fitzgerald Hines will never understand the plight of Laventille people living in Hillsborough in Maraval. You need to ensure that people who come from in your community, who wake up in the same whatever you wake up this morning, are the ones going to parliament this afternoon to say, hey, down by way, mosquitoes, crime, traffic, we need help. Those laws, just those laws, will change how the parliament and the cabinet function. And if you want a better country for yourself and for your loved ones, vote for that.
If it is fabrication, these statements that they spout, when you're voting, vote them wrong, vote them wrong. If it is a frustration that's make you want to shout, when you're voting, vote them wrong, vote them wrong. Before they misuse out, teapots are out and leaks out. If it you who vote them in, vote them wrong. Register and vote them wrong. All of them, vote them wrong. Shake your finger and vote them wrong. Them and the system, vote them wrong. Put them out in Scarborough and in Port Spain. Let's put our country together again. Put them out in Komodo and in Lagomen. Let's put our country together again. People must come first, citizens by rights. None of we are worse, yellow, black or white. Who shall get us first?
Free movement and speech,
A garden that grows,
and one law for each. In the 1940s, in the height of World War II, the United States of America Army Corps of Engineers came to Trinidad and gave us the North Coast Road, the Waterfield roads, and the roads in Chaguaramas that still serve this nation today under millions of hours and tons of traffic. Enter into the conversation the PNM that gave us Calco, Junior Sammy, Kusals, and others who can't build a road that could last a year because they've come up with a magic formula. Kick back to politicians because we know election time all road have to pave. And if all road have to pave so you can get money to run your campaign, kick back to government, build shit roads. And we've been tolerating that. We've been putting up with knowing that these people have made themselves billionaires, robbing this nation, building shit that they have to come back and fix and get paid for twice. Now, how do you go to sleep at night with that on your conscience, knowing that all you had to do was vote into office people who have no interest in tolerating bullshit again?
if it is that injustice is what they always show,
tonight who've stayed through this extra long version of Philip Edward Alexander Live. Thank you very, very much. Thank you for staying with me. Thank you for sharing the video. Thank you for trying to be a part of this movement. Thank you for adding your voice. Thank you for standing up. Saturday gone, we put 25 fresh members on the podium. When they showed up at the meeting in Chaguanas, I said, you speaking, you speaking, you speaking, and asked Anthony Defoe, deputy political leader, one after the other, they wowed that crowd. And I was able to say, when they asked who else could speak for PEP besides PEA, all of them. Next meeting, 25 fresh members again. So that you will see and you will hear and you will understand that this is a culture of understanding as to how things work and how to get it there. People who feel compassion in their hearts, to all of you who came, to all of you who turned up in the inclement weather, we still had a massive crowd. To all of you who helped, to the Central Women's Arm that created all that food, to Rondell and the people from La Brea who brought the corn soup, wow. To the DJ, to the people who supplied the lights, to the family that donated the office, everybody, every single one of you who came, thank you very, very much. To the ones, to all the Trinidad and Tobago who working to build the Progressive Empowerment Party, who spreading the message, who refusing to accept bullshit any longer, who says, look, keep your nonsense. Don't give me bacchanal noise. Stop bad talking people. Let's talk about the issues. The country we have is going to hell. People are getting murdered by the hour, not just the day. The contract mafia making off with billions, but all you know, everybody business and have no problem to tell it. But when it's time come to fix something, you know where to be found. Trinidad and Tobago, we deserve better. We deserve what this country was created to be. Stand up for yourselves. Black Trinidad and Tobago, have pride. Have enough pride to cast that nasty PNM aside. Throw them away. Colm Imbert, Faris Al-Rawi, and Stuart Young is your leaders. Throw them away. You think Faris care about Lavantil when the Nahus family counting the money that they're making with 1 and 3 Alexandra Place? You think Stuart Young in this for Bitam and Sealots? Stuart Young not even in this for Belmont and St. Anne's, and that is who he represented. This is not your government. The PNM is not black government. Black Trinidad and Tobago needs to join everybody else. Red, white, black, green, and every shade in between needs to come together. We've built a bridge where all races could come together and get the better Trinidad and Tobago we all deserve. Come this Saturday at noon at 19 Stanmore Avenue and see the every creed and race that our national anthem speaks about. Come and see a united movement, people that could take and spin gold out of straw. When the media blocked us, Satish Ramsaran and Baxter Cuthbert and others created PEP Media and built a PEP studio. An amazing thing. We do our own shows now in our own studio. Great job. We've opened more offices in this country than the PNM and the UNC have, and we did it in 2.5 years. We are the only political party that came out of the gates with a manifesto and said, this is what we stand for. Pull it apart. Thief where you want to thief. Make the country better. The Progressive Empowerment Party is here to fix Trinidad and Tobago. Satish had to tell somebody, you say Kamala work for the poor, the Progressive Empowerment Party coming to eradicate poverty. There's a difference. We have failed education, failed healthcare, failed food production. We grow nothing. The cost of living is outside the means of everybody. Jobs are scarce. People can't afford to live, can't afford to mind their family. Murder, plague in the land. We not yet ready. What will it take? What will it take to wake you up to your responsibility? East Indian Trinidad, Syrian Trinidad, white Trinidad, Chinese Trinidad, black Trinidad, come together. Let's rebuild this country to a place where every creed and race could live in peace and prosperity. That is the plan, the vision, and the hope of the PEP. If you would like to be a part of that, come and join us. this Saturday at noon, 19 Stanmore Avenue. Also, there are supposed to be meet and greets in your community. So if you can't make it to Port of Spain this Saturday at noon, then reach out to Akil Camps and ask him where the North meeting is. And reach out to Anthony Henry and ask him where the East meeting is. And reach out to Errol Singh and ask him where the Central meeting is. And reach out to Michelle Davis and ask her where the South meeting is. But you could also come and join us at 19 Stanmore Avenue. And for the first time in Trinidad and Tobago's history, a political party is going to have 5 political meetings at the same time. You want a better country? Come and be a part of an organization that dares to dream that big. Come and meet the team that is laying the groundwork for the better country we all deserve. Until tomorrow, stay safe, Trinidad and Tobago.